Okay, so today we're diving into the world of big data. We hear it everywhere. But what does it actually mean? Like, we all know about those relational databases, those tables with rows and columns. But imagine data coming in from everywhere, not just those spreadsheets.
Right.
From social media, sensors, videos. It's a data deluge.
Yeah.
So how do we even begin to understand it all?
It's definitely a different ballgame now. The traditional reporting methods, they just don't cut it anymore with this massive amount of data.
So we can't just stuff all this big data into our neat little relational databases and expect to get insights, right?
Exactly. Those traditional systems, they were built for a different time based on Dr. Codd's 12 rules,
Yeah.
They just weren't made for this scale, this variety. It's like, I don't know, trying to fit an ocean into a thimble or something. We need a new approach. And that's where interactive data visualization comes in.
Okay, interactive data visualization. So we're talking more than just pie charts and bar graphs, right? This is next level stuff.
Oh, much more. Think of it like turning raw data into a visual story, a story that helps us see the patterns and trends hidden within.
So it's not just about numbers anymore. It's about understanding the story behind the numbers.
Yes, exactly.
That's powerful. But how does this work in practice? Can you give us an example?
Sure. Imagine you're trying to understand customer behavior on a website. So instead of just looking at rows and columns of data, you can create interactive dashboards.
Dashboards. Okay.
That show you where customers are clicking, what they're viewing, how much time they're spending on each page. You can really start to understand their journey.
So you can literally see the data come to life. That's incredible.
Precisely. And that's where some interesting new visualization patterns are emerging, like the mashup view pattern, for example. This lets you combine data from multiple sources into a single view.
So instead of switching between different reports, you can see everything in one place. That sounds helpful.
Exactly. It's like having a control panel that shows you all the key information at a glance.
I like that, a control panel.
And then there's the zoning pattern. This helps you divide data into specific areas based on different attributes.
So you could say, create a visual map of sales data and instantly zoom in on a particular region or time period to see how things are performing.
Absolutely. It makes exploration so much faster and more focused.
I can see how that would be useful.
And then there's the exploder pattern. This one is pretty cool.
Exploder pattern, that sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
Well, with this pattern, you can drill down into specific data points to see all the underlying information. Think of it like clicking on a sales figure and seeing it expand to reveal all the factors that contributed to it.
Wow, it's like peeling back the layers of an onion to uncover those hidden insights.
Exactly. And all of this is possible because of new visualization tools like Qlik, Tableau, Spotfire, and others. These tools can handle massive data sets and create these sophisticated visualizations we've been talking about.
It sounds like we're moving from a world of static reports to a world of dynamic, interactive data exploration. It's a whole new way of seeing things.
It is. We're finally able to see the forest for the trees. But of course, there are challenges too.
Right. Like, how do we even handle all this data? It's overwhelming.
Yeah, and that brings us to the topic of big data storage and how it has evolved to keep up with this data explosion. We'll dive into that next. It's interesting how the way we think about storing data has changed, right? It's not just about cramming everything into one giant data lake anymore.
Right. I remember when those Hadoop clusters were the big thing. It's like those giant warehouses filled with data.
Yeah, powerful tools, definitely. But just like you wouldn't, use a hammer to fix a leaky faucet, you need the right tool for the job. Different types of data storage have different strengths,
Okay, so it's about using the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Hadoop is great for processing those huge amounts of raw data, but when you need to access and analyze it quickly for visualizations, a NoSQL database might be a better fit.
So you might use Hadoop first for that heavy lifting, and then a NoSQL database for the more interactive stuff, like those visualizations we talked about.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes the best approach is using a mix of different technologies, each playing to its strengths, what we call the polyglot pattern.
Polyglot pattern, like speaking multiple languages.
Yep, you got it. In this case, it means using a mix of storage, relational databases, cloud storage, even those good old-fashioned file systems, all working together.
So it's like an ecosystem of data storage.
That's a good way to put it. And those prepackaged data appliances we mentioned earlier, they can play a role too.
Right, the all-in-one systems.
Yeah, they offer a simplified approach, especially for organizations just starting out with big data.
Right, sounds convenient. But are there any downsides?
Well, convenience always has its trade-offs, right? Vendor lock-in can be a concern, and then migrating your existing data can be a real pain.
So it's about weighing the ease of use against those potential limitations.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's the data itself. What do we keep? What do we throw away? Data retention policies are crucial. You don't want to be drowning in irrelevant data.
Makes sense. You need to keep things tidy.
Exactly. And knowing how to store it efficiently is just as important. So we've talked about data partitioning, breaking data into smaller chunks, but there's also data indexing.
Indexing, like the index at the back of a book.
Yeah.
To help you find things quickly.
Precisely. It creates a structure that points to specific data locations, makes retrieval so much faster, like searching a library with a detailed catalog versus, just rummaging through every shelf.
Yeah, that's easier with the catalog.
Right. There are even patterns like the lean pattern, which focuses on creating efficient indexes in NoSQL databases, minimizing storage space and maximizing speed.
Lean pattern, I like that. Less clutter, more efficiency.
I like that too. And speaking of efficiency, did you know there are actually alternatives to HDFS?
Wait, I thought HDFS, the Hadoop distributed file system, was like the foundation of Hadoop.
It is a core component, but it's not the only option. Other vendors have developed their own distributed file systems, each with their own pros and cons,
So even in this specific area, there's still innovation happening.
Oh, absolutely. And that brings us to the world of NoSQL databases. There's a whole family of them, each suited to different tasks. Some are great for simple lookups, others for handling massive numbers of columns, and still others for storing unstructured data like text and images.
Wow, it's amazing how specialized data storage has become. There's a tool for everything.
It really has. And cloud computing has just, expanded the possibilities even further. Storage solutions are more flexible and scalable than ever. But this interconnected world raises some concerns about security.
Right, that makes sense. When you have data all over the place, keeping it safe must be a huge challenge.
It is, and that's what we'll be diving into next. Get ready to explore the world of big data security.
So let's talk security. I mean, when you've got data spread out across so many systems, keeping it all safe, it must be like, a constant game of whack-a-mole or something.
It does present, unique challenges for sure. Remember, big data systems, they're often built for redundancy.
Redundancy.
So data gets copied across multiple servers.
Yeah, so if one server crashes, you're still good.
Exactly. But then how do you make sure that all those copies are protected, right?
Yeah, good point.
That's where a multi-layered approach to security comes in. Things like encryption, authentication, authorization, all working together.
Okay, so encryption, I get that. That's scrambling the data so only the right people can read it.
Right.
But what about authentication and authorization? What are those?
So think of authentication like proving who you are, like showing your ID card to get into a building.
Okay.
And then authorization is what you're allowed to do once you're inside.
Okay. So authentication is like verifying your identity, and authorization is about what you can access or change.
Got it.
Exactly. And in a big data environment, this can, get pretty complicated. You might have users with different roles, each needing access to different data sets.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sounds like managing all that access control could be a full-time job.
It can be. Luckily, there are tools that can help. Like Kerberos, for example.
Kerberos, like that three-headed dog from mythology.
Yeah, I see the connection. In this case, Kerberos acts like a digital gatekeeper, making sure that only the authorized users and systems can get into the data cluster.
So like a guard dog for your data.
Exactly. But what about, protecting the data itself, not just who can access it?
Right.
There are security products designed specifically for big data, offering things like data masking, access control lists, audit logging.
Data masking, that sounds interesting. Is that like blurring out sensitive information so you can share data without, revealing everything? That's a good way to think about it. You're basically replacing sensitive data with, realistic but fake data.
Oh, clever. So you can still analyze the data without compromising privacy.
Right.
What about those access control lists?
Those are like setting very specific rules for who can do what with the data.
Right.
Read-only access for some, editing rights for others, and completely block those who shouldn't see it at all.
It's like having very granular control over who can do what.
Right. And audit logging, it's basically like having a security camera that records all activity.
Okay, so if anything fishy happens, you can go back and see who did what.
Exactly. So as you can see, big data security is it's a constantly evolving field.
Yeah, definitely sounds like it.
As new threats emerge, security professionals have to, stay one step ahead. It's an ongoing challenge, but with the right tools and strategies, organizations can build secure and reliable systems.
So, to wrap things up, we've seen how big data has changed the way we deal with information. It's not just about storing huge amounts of data.
Yeah.
It's about finding the meaning in it, visualizing those insights, and making sure it's all secure.
Absolutely. And this is just the beginning,
Yeah.
The field is constantly changing. It's a really exciting time to be involved in big data.
It really is.
Right.
And for our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep learning. There's a whole world of data waiting to be discovered.
Well said. Keep those questions coming and keep digging deeper. You might just unlock the true potential of big data.